Hi everyone, welcome to Mise en Place Vineyards. We're going to do a little video today on picking grapes, and before we get to the vineyard, I want to give you a little history of the vineyard. This vineyard is 117 years old. It is organic grapes. And at one time, Welch's actually picked the grapes. When I bought the land, the vineyard came way up past here, and there was a bunkhouse and an outhouse where the migrant laborers would come and pick the grapes for Welch's and then for some other companies. When I bought the vineyard, it was in total disrepair. And it needed an awful lot of work. They had not been pruned in years, and that's the worst thing you can do to a vineyard is to not prune it. So to make a long story short, I bulldozed out about 70 rows to build the house and the workshop and the pond. And the remaining 30 rows I started to restore. And in restoring them, since they hadn't been pruned in a long time, we had to really cut them way back. And once you get that kind of out of the way, just here's how grapes work. In February, March, and April, depending on the weather, you cut the vines off of the stalks. And there's tons of vines by then because they had grown in the fall and all the grapes. So you cut the vines off, and then you stretch the wires. There's 3 wires. There's a top wire, a medium wire, and a low wire. And you stretch the wires to the poles, and then you take shoots. You leave 2 or 3 shoots coming out of each stalk, and you tie them to the wires. And the vineyard being so old, and I've had it 22 years, each year I get a little bit more done in there. I've had to replace over 100 poles. The wires are steel, so they've rusted over the years, so I've replaced probably a mile of wire. And every pole needs to be pounded in the spring, because over the winter the poles come out. So come February, March, April, whenever the weather allows you to get in there and cut the vineyards back, get the wires strung, get the poles pounded in, and get the shoots tied, then there's not a whole lot to do until like July or maybe sometimes August, depending on the weather. These beautiful little pink and white flowers will grow where potentially every bunch of grapes will grow, and they're very, very pretty. And then about the middle of July, as you get towards the warmer weather, those little flowers turn into little bunches. And the grapes on the bunches are about the size of a BB. And then as the summer progresses and as we get towards fall, they turn into bunches of grapes, and they're bright green colored. And then come the end of August, early September, they start to turn blue. And they go through a stage of looking pink for a while, then they turn blue. And then about this time of year is harvest time. And the grapes are deep blue, and they're big bunches. This year we had great weather. The grapes love wet springs and hot summers. In May we had many days of 90 degrees. So the grapes are really a bumper crop this year. So we'll go down to the vineyard now and take a look at what we're talking about, and show you how you can pick some grapes and enjoy them. Like I said, the grapes are good for jelly, pies, juice, and just plain good to eat. So let's go down to the vineyard now.